Most pest companies think they're doing fine because revenue's up and the bank account isn't empty. In this study, almost half of them were actually growing while their margins were shrinking. When I sold my pest control company, we were doing about $3.75 million a year, 16 techs, 2 branches. My benchmarking was pretty simple. Did we grow revenue? Is this month higher than the same month last year? And is there more money in the account than the last time I checked? That was it. No real benchmarks, no idea if my cost structure was tight or leaking. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Pest Control Benchmark Report in your business today to build a one-year plan around one number instead of guessing off gut feel and bank balance. You could do it in 4 quick steps. Step 1, stack your revenue growth, gross profit, and EBITDA against real pest operators in your tier using the numbers in this report. Step 2, pull the same 3 numbers from your own P&L. Step 3, flip your P&L into, for every dollar I spend, how much revenue do I get back on labor and marketing? And step 4, pick your single biggest gap and turn that into your plan for the next 12 months. And if you don't want to do it alone, at the end of this video, I'll show you how to get us to overlay your numbers on the benchmark for you. When you don't have a reliable benchmark, you end up worshiping the wrong god, top line revenue. When I was running my company, it went like this. Revenue's up, great. We're busier, great. Bank balance doesn't look horrible, must be working. The assumption was if top line goes up, bottom line will follow. And that's not what actually happens. What I couldn't see clearly was for every dollar I'm spending on sales and marketing, how much revenue am I actually generating? Compared to other pest control companies my size, are my labor and fleet costs tight or bloated? And am I getting enough revenue per tech, or am I carrying capacity I haven't grown into? Most big decisions, hiring, trucks, marketing, were made off of last year's budget with a little bit added, plus a gut feeling of this is the best we could do. No external reference, no way to know if we were actually disciplined or just lucky. First thing I do with this report today is brutally simple. Find out if I'm even in the same ballpark as healthy operators my size. Here's exactly how I'd start. Step 1, mark my region. For me, in the pest control company I had was in Texas, so that's South Central. And step 2, I find my revenue tier. So I flip to the revenue tier section. We'd land in the $3+ million. That's my peer group. No point comparing myself to a $600,000 operator or a $20 million platform. And then step 3, I'd circle 3 numbers for my tier. Number 1, revenue growth percentage. Number 2, gross profit margin percentage. Step 3, EBITDA or operating margin percentage. For operators doing more than $3 million in this study, the benchmark looks roughly like median revenue growth in the mid-teens, median gross profit margin in the mid-60s, median EBITDA margin in the mid-teens, with top quartile operators in the high 20s on EBITDA. That spread is the opportunity. And remember, companies get bought and sold on EBITDA multiples every single day. We loved working with Potomac when we sold our pest control company. You don't need to be selling now to care either. You just need to value your own time. Then I look at the efficient growth matrix from the study. There's 4 quadrants. Scalable growth with revenue up and margin up. Growth at a cost with revenue up, margin down. Efficiency mode with revenue flat or down, margin up. And the risk zone, revenue down, margin down. The report tells you what share of operators live in each box. A scary number of companies are growing at a cost, doing more work with less profit. Your first job with this report is just to answer, which tier am I in and which quadrant am I probably in? Let me tell you this, benchmarks are useless if you never put your numbers next to them. Grab your P&L and pull these 3 numbers. Number 1, revenue growth. How much did we grow last year versus the year before? Number 2, gross profit margin percentage. Revenue minus your cost of service divided by your revenue. Number 3, your EBITDA or operating margin percentage. Your operating profit divided by revenue after overhead. Then line them up next to the benchmark for your tier. For example, your pest control company numbers could look roughly like this. Gross profit margin about 62, 63%, just under the $3 million and above median in the report. Your adjusted EBITDA around 31%, actually above the top operators in the study. but your revenue growth was only about 2%, way below the typical mid-teens growth. So what does that say? You have a very strong profit, but stalled growth. And if I had that benchmark report back then, that tension would have jumped off the page.
Hey Patrick, you're running an efficient business, but that really isn't growing.
And that would have changed the kind of decisions we were making around sales and hiring and marketing spend and route expansion. What's really interesting is the part of the report I wish I had more than anything. It's this inverse view of the P&L. Normally, you look at your P&L and you say, labor is, say, 30% of my revenue, or marketing is maybe 10%. You see them as expenses. This report flips all that into performance. For every dollar I spend on people, how many dollars of revenue do I get back? For every dollar in sales and marketing, how much revenue do I actually generate? This sounds simple, but it changes the whole conversation. It stops being, what can I cut? It becomes, where can I get more output per dollar? In the larger operator group, the study shows something like this. The typical operator doing around $2.70 to $2.80 of revenue for every dollar of people cost, where top operators are doing north of $3.30 for every dollar. On the marketing side, typical is roughly $6 to $7 of revenue for every dollar marketing, but the best are closer to $10 for every dollar. It's two very different levers. If your labor productivity is low, that's a staffing or routing or pricing conversation. If your marketing productivity is low, that's a channel, offer, or follow-up conversation. This report hands you those ratios, so you're not just arguing spend less or spend more. You're asking, what do I get for each dollar? This is where most people overdo it. They see 10 gaps in their business and they try to fix all of them at the same time, but you won't. This report gives you two lenses on your business. One is your profit lens, so your revenue growth, your gross profit margin, your EBITDA, benchmarked against your revenue tier and your quadrant. And a productivity lens, revenue per dollar of people cost and revenue per dollar of marketing spend, benchmarked the same way. From here, I'd ask one question. Which gap is biggest and most important right now? For example, if my gross profit margin is sitting under the median while my EBITDA is okay, then I'm spending more to deliver service than most. So this year is going to be about route density, material efficiency, truck utilization. If my labor productivity is low, say I'm $2.50 of revenue for every labor dollar, then the best operators are $3.30, then I probably have too many techs for my routes, or I'm underpricing the work that they're doing. If my marketing productivity is weak compared to my peers, it's not just ads are expensive, it's you're not getting enough recurring revenue per campaign dollar. Do I have the right offers, targeting, follow-up? And I wouldn't try to fix all of those at once. I pick one gap and I make that the theme in the next 12 months. One gap, 1 year. Everything we do, hiring, pricing, routing, overtime, ad spend, gets filtered through one lens. Does this move the number toward top operators or not? So you can take this report in your P&L and figure out the gap in your business on your own. I just showed you how. But if you don't want to do it alone, here's what we do all day at FRAXN. If you click the link and book a benchmark walkthrough, here's what we'll do on that call. Number one, we'll map your P&L to our standard chart of accounts so you're comparing apples to apples with the study. In step two, we'll drop your real numbers into the benchmark. So revenue growth, gross profit margin, EBITDA, labor, ad spend, and show you exactly where you sit versus your tier and your region, in which quadrant you're actually in. In step three, we'll help you pick one main cost or lever growth for the year, whether that's labor, materials, marketing, or overhead, so you're not trying to fix everything at once. No pressure, no hard sell. You'll leave with a clear picture of where you stand and one number to aim at, even if you never work with us again. So if you own a pest control company and you're tired of flying blind off of gut feel and bank balance, do this. Step one, download the Pest Control Financial Benchmark Report at FRAXN.report. Step two, book a benchmark walkthrough with our team. Step three, bring last year's P&L and we'll do the rest with you. I wish I had this when I had a pest control company. You don't have to guess the same way I did.